The Portland metro real estate market continues to surprise. For the second week in a row, sale prices are almost 10% higher than last year at this time. And those are for deals that went under contract with some of the highest mortgage rates we've seen since October. In this video, we'll take a look at Portland's sale prices, the supply and demand numbers, foreclosures, and mortgage rates. Let's get into the numbers. Thanks as always for tuning in. I'm RRMilligan and I'm here to bring you the very latest in stats and trends for the Portland metro real estate market. In my sample, that's Portland, all of the surrounding communities, and Southwest Washington. If you have any questions at all, please post them in the comments and I will do my best to give you an answer. Like I said at the top of this video, the average sale price was up 9.9% over roughly the same week last year, and that's for the second week in a row that we've had a number like this. Looking at the broader trend, in January, we only saw a gain of around 4.2% compared to January of 2024. In February, the year-over-year gain was a little bit higher at 6.7%. I'm not quite yet sold on the 10% gains that we've been seeing so far this month, so I'd like to see another week or two of numbers in this range before I get too excited about it. The supply of homes available for buyers to purchase keeps inching up. This last week, buyers had roughly 32.5% more homes to choose from versus last year at this time. We had been seeing weaker buyer demand over the last couple of weeks, but that seems to have turned around this last week. The number of purchase contracts agreed to by buyers and sellers was up compared to the previous week and up compared to roughly the same time period last year. I've noticed from a boots on the ground perspective that this week we've been seeing a healthy jump in both buyer and seller activity, and I'm curious to see if that proves true next week when we go over the numbers. This might finally be the start of the Portland buying season that I've been waiting for. So on to mortgage rates. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is one of our best indicators of where mortgage rates are headed, and the yield has been up and down like a yo-yo over the past week. Even though the 10-year is lower than where we were last week, mortgage rates haven't moved that much at all. And I think it's because credit markets like stability and the markets have been hedging against the instability that we've been experiencing. So no real big changes with rates. The best rate I could find advertised this week was around 6.5% plus or minus. And that's roughly where we were about a week ago last Friday. Of course, if there are any big changes on Friday morning, I'll post them right over here. We have been seeing a rise in the number of bank-owned and pre-foreclosure homes on the market over the past few months, but it's still a pretty small amount when we put the 115 or so distressed properties currently on the market in the context of the more than 8,000 active and pending listings we have right now. The number of days that a home spent on the market before getting an acceptable offer is declining. We're currently at 63 days, which is down from 72 the week before. That's normal for this time of year. On average, sellers had to discount about 3.5% off their original asking price in order to secure the successful sale of their homes. So what's waiting for us around the corner? Well, it's kind of hard to say. The Fed board does meet next Tuesday and Wednesday. The Fed usually goes radio silent about a week before they meet. The expectation going into this meeting has been that we wouldn't see any changes to the Fed funds rate, and I haven't really heard anything that would change that expectation. We did see one lower than expected and one as expected inflation report this week. That was for February, but there's still a lot of turmoil in the markets over potential trade wars, and that makes it kind of difficult to suss out what's coming down the line. As always, if anything comes up last minute before I post this video on Friday, I will put the update right over here. Well, you did it. You made it to the very end of this week's report. Thanks a million for joining me. I hope you got something helpful and informative out of this week's video. If I did miss anything or if you have any other questions, please drop a note in the comments and I will definitely follow up. Otherwise, I will see you right here next week.